Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Alex. This is actually my first YouTube video ever, so please excuse me if I come off a little nervous or jittery. It's a little awkward for me. I've never been on a YouTube video, never done a YouTube video, so this is very cool and very awkward at the same time. So excuse me if I could come off a little nervous. But today I wanted to make a YouTube video about this King James Bible. Something I would hold very near and dear to my heart, and can't have the King James Bible without having the Apocrypha. Babylon to Timbuktu. And last but not least, Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. You need one of these if you're going to understand the Bible to its entirety. Yeah, the reason why I came today is because I wanted to speak about, the Bible and how it impacted my life and how great I feel about the Bible and what it's done for me, One thing I have to say before anything else is that I grew up in an all-Christian household, Jehovah's Witness for majority. My mom was a Pentecostal, and my mom's side of the family were all Pentecostals, but my dad's side of the family was all Jehovah's Witnesses. So I grew up in a largely Jehovah's Witness family, and I would always spend more time on my dad's side of the family than my mother's side. But, growing up, I remember being sent to Puerto Rico, because I'm Puerto Rican, by the way. I was out in Puerto Rico, and that was every single summer. I mean, there wasn't a summer where I wouldn't go. It was just summer after summer after summer. I would always go to Puerto Rico every year, especially when school's out. Forget about it. I'm out to Puerto Rico, And when I was in Puerto Rico, my grandmother, from my father's side, of course, is Jehovah's Witnesses. She used to read to me the Bible. That was every night before I went to sleep. I had a Bible reading. It was Bible stories. She would read me Bible stories. And she would read to me Bible scriptures. And she would talk to me about all types of different things about the Bible. So, I thank Yah for that, because, to be honest, I would have never understood the Bible if I was never presented it that young. I feel that was perfect for me, because it cultivated my mind and basically embedded a seed in my brain that allowed me to understand life as I was growing older, that there was rights and wrongs. So I appreciate that so much from my grandmother, and first and foremost, Yah. So, that he came to me at a very early age, and I thank him so much for that every single day. But growing in a Christian household, I grew up with Christian morals and values. And growing up with these Christian morals and values, it led me down a good path. Honestly, I have to say that. I cannot say anything negative towards that. I would say it definitely kept me with Yah in the back of my mind. It kept me with him in the back of my mind, and everything that I looked at it through the perspective of Yah. So, understanding that, it was, I would say that it was very good for me. One thing that I have to say is that, growing up like that, you kind of, because your eyes are so focused on the way the Christian values are, you kind of don't take out the time to actually open up the Bible and read it yourself, and because you feel like everything is a moral standpoint, So you know, as a person, you kind of don't look into it any further than that because you feel like you got it all down pat. I mean that's just for me. That's just speaking about myself. But yeah, growing up in that type of environment, that type of household, you know, it definitely impacted me a lot. It definitely allowed me to see Yah. It gave me a glimpse into who he was and what he's all about. I remember being that I was into the Jehovah's Witness real hard. I remember arguing with my friends all the time, man, about God. And everything to me was like, God wouldn't like that. God wouldn't like this. You know, you're doing things against God. God wouldn't like that. And my friends they always laugh at me or whatever. And they would, you know, they'd be like, whatever, you know, this, you know, you're taking it too far. Like, God loves everybody and he's about this, whatever, you know. And understanding it like that, it was just, it was something that was something that I held near and dear to my heart. But I didn't know how to argue any points. But granted, I was just a kid. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had my faith is what I had. I had the faith in Jesus Christ and I had the faith in the Most High, Yah. And understanding that Christian background, that faith and everything like that, I grew up looking at everything through that type of scope. So it didn't matter what else was happening around me. I was always looking at everything through that scope. But as you get older, you start to see life. And I grew up in the Bronx, in one of the most worst neighborhoods. It was Walton 23rd. I mean, I remember back in the days, man, you know, you couldn't even drive a car into the block. For example, if you used to call a cab, and you was to get, you know, there was to drive you, they leave you at the corner, and you had to find your way to your building because cabs wouldn't even drive into the block because they feared that, you know, it's a bad neighborhood. They didn't want to get robbed or something like that. So it was a really bad neighborhood. I'm not gonna lie, man. I grew up, you know, in a really bad neighborhood. I honestly have to say though, I never grew up as a person that was all about that life. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, I had to handle mine when I was a kid and, you know, things happen or whatever. I have to handle mine, you know, because that's the code of the street. But I honestly say, for me, it's not because I grew up in the Bronx that all of a sudden, you know, you're the biggest tough guy in the world, because in the Bronx, in those neighborhoods, it's not, you know, just because you grew up there, it's not all of a sudden you're automatically the toughest guy in the world. You know, I didn't have to go through half of the things some of my friends went through. So I honestly say that I was blessed, but, you know. But again, I stood steadfast to Yah, and I always focused on Him, and I always focused on what He's about, you know. But I always focused on it through a Christian scope, and understanding Yah and understanding the Most High Yah. As I gotten older, I started to see things through the type of light that's like, wait a minute, well, if Yah loves everybody and everything like that, then why is it that we live impoverished, you know? I would question things like, you know, the Europeans, they came over here, they raped, robbed, they murdered. And you know, you go to history class, the first thing they teach you about is the type of rape, rob, and murder that the Europeans would do. You know, to them, it was almost like a joy to rape and murder innocent people. And yet, they go unpunished. Like, you know, to me, I've always felt like, then what happens then? You know what I'm saying? Then that means that all of that, Jesus Christ died for the sins of the world. Then what does that mean? That for the rest of our life we have to live in this hell? You know, and then from there we go to heaven? You know what I'm saying? So I would always question things like that. And, you know, of course, nothing went by me without asking a question. That was one thing I did. Ever since a kid, I always asked questions. It wasn't like I would be like, oh, yeah, they said this, so automatically I go with it. You know, I always ask questions. So understanding the questions and understanding asking questions um, I would ask those type of questions. But yet, nobody in the Christian faith ever has the answers. They always give you the brush underneath the rug. You know, don't worry about those bad people. You know, there's good people out there and everything like that, and we need to hold close to the good people and everything like that. But you know, understanding it like that is kind of hard to break out of that mold. You know what I'm saying? One thing when I was growing up and when I was growing up in as a kid, they would ask, "Oh, did you ever read the Bible? You know, did you ever read the Bible?" And it's no, yeah, I've read the Bible, of course. You know, da, da, da. But in reality, you're lying. You know, there's, I mean, I speak only for me because I only know me. But I know also there's a lot of Christians out there that lie and say that they read the Bible and they haven't read nothing. But again, I speak for me. You know what I'm saying? And I speak for me and for the Christians that I know have never read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and it's not a big it's not a big secret. But again, you know, again, it's not a big deal. You know, that's one thing I could say to. That's one thing I should highlight. It's not a big deal. If you didn't read it, accept the fact that you didn't read it. That's all I have to say. Is accept the fact that you didn't read it and read. You know, you can't. The way I see it is that you can't pass a math test or you can't pass a test in class without studying. You could tell your professor all day long. You know, I graduated from college, so you could tell your professor all day long, yeah, I read, and yeah, I studied, and yeah, I did this, but when that test comes and they ask you those questions and you ain't answering them things correctly, guess what? That's where the proof is. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a big deal that you didn't do it the very first time around. You know, be honest with yourself first and foremost and say, you know, I didn't do it, and then, you know, get to it. But let me not go off on a rant, because sometimes I have a tendency of doing that. But anyways, I grew up like that, you know, and understanding the Bible, the way the Christians taught me, I would always ask those questions, and I would always ask like, wow, you know, so then, you know, then this happened, right? And I would feel to myself like, so what happens to those people? And then they say, well, you know, let God judge them. Right? And sure enough, there's part of that. Yeah, you know, God is going to judge or whatever. You know, but I would always ask that question because I would always wonder, like, you know, so anytime somebody does something bad, it's just like God judge them and then that's it. You know? And those type of questions stuck in the back of my mind because I never got those questions answered. You know, and the Christian way, at least the Jehovah Witness way of doing things, was, oh, you know, you're a good kid, you know, just let God handle that as a pat on the back, and they walk away. You know, they don't really want to talk to you or deal with you. They don't really want to deal with your questions. You know, they want to just stand at the podium, speak their few words, and then just walk away. And that's the way I always felt. Like, you know, I never got my questions answered. You know, of course I had a question, but no one ever said, oh man, you know, this is the way, look, let me pull out this verse, let me pull out this verse. This is the way you answer this, or this is what's going on here. You know, so fast forward, you know, growing up like that, I always felt like I never had my questions answered. But fast forward, now we reach present day. And I'm feeling to myself like, man, you know, I would love to do more for God, you know, and I would love to acknowledge more about God. So I started, you know, getting back into the Bible and stuff like that. I started reading and stuff like that. And I've read a little bit on the book of Revelations. I didn't understand anything that was going on, y'all. I just didn't understand nothing, man. I didn't understand anything that was going on in the book of Revelations. I didn't understand anything about dragons and seven-headed dragons and diadems and crowns and this, that, and the third. And I didn't understand anything, to be honest, y'all. I'm going to be 1,000% honest. But I started to just seek, man. I started to seek, and I was like, man, I would love to understand more, I would love to understand more. And so I seeked and seeked and seeked. And one day I came across a YouTube video. Man, I forgot the name of the YouTube video, man, but it was a 30-minute long YouTube video. And the brother, it was just a video of still pictures, and the brother's just explaining everything from the beginning all the way through now. And speaking about the Israelites and about who the true Israelites were. And boom, one YouTube video popped into another YouTube video. Because, you let a YouTube video play and then it plays another YouTube video that I never seen before in my life. And all of a sudden I started listening, and it was some brothers speaking, speaking the word, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So it would jump into, and I let it play, and another YouTube video came on, and they started speaking more words. So I started looking into these words, and sure enough, I wrote into my notebook, and I just started writing and writing. And getting into that, it was just fascinating for me, because I was like, holy crap, there's all this stuff, that I didn't know about, and yet here I am learning about it, and now I understand this. Okay, wow, it's clicking, and it started clicking into my head. Oh, praises to the Most High, man. That's how He comes to you, man. And it's clicking into my head, and it was crazy. It started really, really coming to me. I gotta honestly say, brothers and sisters, I'm not speaking the whole story, because there's way more to it than that. But I honestly say that there was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs more than ups. And the reason why I say downs more than ups, not just because how real the word is, but because of how wicked you fail to understand that you are until you actually read the word. If that makes sense. You didn't understand yourself to be this wicked. You thought of yourself to be always so good and kind and loving and caring. But you didn't really acknowledge the fact that you were wicked, I gotta honestly say, when I was growing up, I always had a wicked eye towards my brother, because, and not my physical brother, I have a physical brother, but wicked eye to my brother, meaning as a nation, always had a wicked eye towards my brothers, so to speak. And I always felt like we were the wrong thing, we were this, we were that. I always had a critical eye towards my brothers, and because I didn't understand anything, and I was a fool, But as I started to get into this truth for real, I start to understand, wow, man, we're brothers, Why is it that at one point in my life, I didn't care too much for my brothers? All I cared about was, we have to be a certain type of way in order to understand and in order to acknowledge the Bible. Well, as I got deep into it, it was crazy, because I just became more and more in tune with the word. And the downs that I went through was because it was breaking out of the formation that I was under, the indoctrination that I had in my mind of me thinking that I know the Bible when I really didn't know anything. I used to fake the funk and say, yeah, I did read. I read all of that. And in reality, I ain't read jack, you know? And it was through reading it and through really, really meditating on that word that I started to understand that, wow, could it be? Could it be that we are God's favored, and I've been on the wrong path this whole time? Could it be that I was wicked and I didn't know? Well, sure enough, I just started getting more and more deeper into the word, and what happens? I started to find out that what I was doing was wickedness in the sight of Yah. And so I would just meditate on the word and read it and then meditate on it. And it was amazing because every single time that I read it and I meditated on it, the very next day I felt like I was looking at the world in a different scope. So I thank Yah for this book. And I thank Yah for coming to me in the time that he did come to me when I was a child, helping me understand the things that I grown to understand because of this book. So it definitely opened up my eyes to a new world, because as our brothers and sisters are getting shot down in these streets every single day, and you feeling to yourself like there is no hope for us, we're hopeless. At any given point, anybody could do anything to you, and you have nothing that you could do back, and you just gotta stay your ass shut. Excuse my French, brothers and sisters, but I get into the spirit of the Lord, and sometimes I become a little vocal. But our brothers and sisters are getting hurt out in these streets, and now I understand the reason why. Because back in the days, I would see things like that, but I'll turn a blind eye toward it. And so did a lot of people that I knew. And if the people that I know are watching this right now, you know that I'm talking to you. A lot of our brothers and sisters just turn a blind eye towards it. And we just feel like, that's because we got to look at everything through an individual basis. And you can't look at everything through this type of scope. But then you start to see how the Bible speaks to your nation. So it's very, very powerful stuff, man. And as I'm saying these words to you guys today, I've read, or not read, but I've seen an article on YouTube. I challenge you guys to go look it up. I've seen an article on YouTube that California is moving towards banning the Bible because it speaks a lot of hatred. And the homosexuality movement that's going on right now, which is pure wickedness, guys. Pure wickedness, man. It's demonic demonism in its purest form, brothers and sisters, man. If you're part of that wickedness, man, let it go, man. Let it go. I've never been part of that. I've never even dabbled in any of that trash, but if you are into that wickedness, brothers and sisters, please let it go, man. There's salvation for you in this book. So brothers and sisters of Israel, please let it go, man. Be part of the strong movement. Stand up to iniquity and ignorance and stand right by the Mashiach Yahushai and stand up for what's right. Don't give in to the wickedness because the other nations, you want to be closer to the other nations. Brothers and sisters, steadfast with this Bible, But again, I don't want to go off on a tangent because I know sometimes I tend to do that. But, it was just amazing how when Yah revealed that to me and revealed the word to me, revealed the word unto me, I've became more and more in tune with him, and becoming more and more in tune with him, I start to see the world in a different scope every single day. And I would like to honestly say, brothers and sisters of Israel, I am a brother, okay? Brothers and sisters of Israel, I am a brother from the tribe of Ephraim. My mother's from the tribe of Ephraim, and so is my father. I am a brother from the tribe of Ephraim. And I would like to honestly say, brothers and sisters of Israel, get back into your laws, statutes, and commandments. Learn these scriptures. This is the root to your salvation. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about the blasphemers. And definitely don't worry about the scoffers. We're going to have that to the time Mashiach Yahushua comes back. So don't worry about anybody scoffing. Don't worry about anybody speaking this going off and speaking about a bunch of trash and downplaying Israel. Don't worry about that, brothers and sisters, because to be honest, compare the Holy Bible to the way we're going through life right now. And if you don't choose the Holy Bible compared to the way you're living life now, you are a fool. And I can honestly say that from the bottom of my heart, Israel. Really from the bottom of my heart. And I love the fact that Yah presented himself to me. And I feel fulfilled and wholehearted now. Before I felt like a kid and a fool. Now I feel like a man and a knowledgeable man. A man full of wisdom and vigor on top of all of that. So, you know, one thing that I gotta say is that I love this book. I love everything that it has to offer. I love everything. Everything from its good sayings to its evil sayings. I love them all. And I love everything that Yah has to give me, whether it be a punishment or a reward. I love it all, because the Most High is strengthening you and he's building you. Remember, Yah doesn't build children, he builds men. Yah doesn't build girls, he builds women. So it's very important that we acknowledge these facts and that we understand these things, because I'm part of no camp myself. But I love my brothers from HOI. I love my brothers from IUIC. I love my brothers from Sakari, GOCC. I love all my brothers and sisters, man, from every single camp, from small to big, from minuscule to ginormous, from no money street corner preaching to tons of fruits and big hall type preachings. I love them all. I love all my brothers and sisters from Israel. And all I pray is that we unite and we become bigger and stronger. So Israel, I thank you very much for awarding me your ear and the opportunity to speak to you. And if you listen to the video to its entirety, I appreciate the fact that you listen to the video to its entirety. It was kind of hard for me to make the video, and it's because, you know, I'm a very interpersonal person, but I get, you know, this is something new to me, so I'm a little camera shy. But I thank you all for lending me your ear, and you know, it's just something that I wanted to speak of, and I just, you know, I know there's different brothers and sisters that's coming out of nowhere into this truth right now, and you know, like Yah says, hold steadfast, man, and hold strong into the word of Yah until the end of days, because it's only him who holds on to this word to the end of days is going to be rewarded the kingdom and everlasting life. This is not life, brothers and sisters. That's nothing to brag about here in this captivity or Babylon the Great. There's nothing to be happy about. This is not something that, you should be jumping for joy, even if you're very rich or if you're very impoverished. Nobody should be full of happiness here under this rule of government and under this captivity. No one should ever be thinking about it like, oh man, this is the best thing in the world, because it's not, brothers and sisters. Trust me, there's a bigger pot of gold at the end of the rainbow if you stick it out. But brothers and sisters, I love you and I care for you, and I love all of you. I will be releasing more videos as time progresses, because I want to get into like a routine of releasing videos and really speaking to my brothers and sisters out there. I want to see how what else I can do, because brothers and sisters, to be honest, I want to do more for Israel. The more I understand the Bible, the more I learn about the Bible. This is my first step towards doing something more for Israel. But I want to do more for Israel. Every single day I want to do more. I want to meet with camps. I want to enjoy the fruits of Israel. I want to harvest fruits for Israel. I want to harvest. That's what I want to do. I want to harvest. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to be working vigorously to figure out how to build Israel in my way, along with the groups of Israel, according to Scripture. Not just my way, not the way I feel, but according to Scripture. Figure out how to build Israel and really help Israel grow. So brothers and sisters, I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you guys. And it was a little nerve-wracking, I gotta honestly say. And I'm sure that I'm sure if I look back at this video, I could honestly say, wow, I left that out, I left this out. But there's so much more to the story. It's not just as straight and clean cut as I said it was. But there's much more to the story. But that's gonna have to be for later videos. I don't want to bore you guys with 2-hour-long video, because forget about it. I'll just bring it from the beginning till now. You'll look at it and you'll say, wow, this guy just keeps on going on and on. But thank you, brothers and sisters. I come to you as a brother from the tribe of Ephraim, and I thank you so much for allowing me your ears and awarding me the time. And again, through this holy scriptures, I will continue to think of new ways according to Scripture on how to build and how to help Israel become the mighty nation that it is. Because Israel is a mighty nation, and you need to understand that in your heart. You need to understand that Israel is a mighty nation. And we're so much so a mighty nation that everybody else in the streets and everybody else in the highways and byways want to knock us down and destroy us, even our own. But Israel, understand that if you're out there to cause harm to your brothers and sisters, there's no respect for you, not even from the other nations. You look like a fool. So brothers and sisters, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And also on top of that, stay steadfast to Yahweh and his son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, until his day and the glory of the Lord comes back. Let that day come swift and like a thief in the night, but don't get caught off guard, Israel. Please build yourself and learn the Bible. Don't shy away from it, even if it doesn't include your best friend that you grew up with, and he's not included, or she's not included, or your girlfriend's not included, your wife is not included into the scriptures. You need to work out salvation for yourself and work out salvation for your family and your loved ones. But that's all for today. Shalom, brothers, and keep up the good work, because Israel is strong and we're mighty and we will prevail. But keep up the good work, brothers and sisters. Stay on them highways and byways until I'm able to join one of my brothers and sisters on them highways and byways and really get to preach the word myself. Okay? Be strong, and shalom, brothers and sisters. I love you, and peace to Israel, and all praises to the Most High Lord Yah. Name His Holy Son, Yahweh Shai. Amen.